All right, and so here, once again, I want you to concentrate on the factoring techniques. It's great that we can find the x-intercepts, but I can plug this into the calculator and do so, finding the zeros. We're going to concentrate on the factoring. Okay, this is one of the harder of the factoring ones because 1a is not going to be 1, and you're going to have to rearrange the thing to get it into standard form. Okay, so this engulfs a lot of the problems that can show up. So I would say off the worksheet, this is one of the toughest ones on there. So we'll do this one, and then we'll see what questions you have beyond that. So first of all, whenever I want to solve this by factoring or find the x-intercepts, I have to have it set equal to 0, correct? And so right now, here's some word of advice. I would never take your leading coefficient, move it over by subtracting. You do not want to start the problem off with the negative sign because we mess up with signs all the time. And so with this negative, or with this one right here already being positive, I'm going to take each piece and pull it to this side of the equal sign. Is everybody okay with that? Everybody good with that? Now, here's where y'all have to really pay attention to details because I think you get that idea, but you don't do signs correctly going across the equal sign. All right, and so I'm going to move the 27b by subtracting 27b. I'm going to move the 18 by adding 18. Those are going to cancel out, create zeros. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. And so what I'm left with is 10b squared minus 27b plus 18 equal to 0. Right? And remember, the most important thing about it equaling 0 is that we're finding the x-intercepts and the y value is 0. That's the most important thing. All right? And so now we're going to go through our factor by grouping concept. I told you every one of these will factor. What you deal with on your test will factor. And so therefore testing your factoring is going to be the important thing. So the first thing that has to happen is A has to equal 0. If it doesn't, we look for a GCF. There's no GCF between 10, 27, and 18. So therefore I got to do my AC portion. And so I'm going to take my A, multiply it to my C.
May I have your attention, please? East is hosting Infinity Wars to raise money for the Angel Tree families for food during Christmas, starting today, November 1st, and will run through November 15th.
So therefore, that's what we have. Now what I'm doing is I'm answering this question right here.
You can put silver coins in their can, so they will receive negative points. We will empty the cans during 4th period each day, so make sure to get your coins in. The competition will be between first period classes, and there are 3 different ways to win.
So what we have is we're asking the question, what do we multiply to get 180 and add to get negative 27? What do we add to get 180, multiply to get 27, or add to get 27? What we multiply to get 180 and add to get negative 27. Those of you might struggle with numbers high as all this, so I'm going to show you a characteristic that you are. Technique that you can use. So if I go to y equals right here, okay, if I go to y equals right here and I want to see what factors give me 180, I can go 180 divided by x, 180 divided by x, I hit graph, and then I go to the table. These are my factors. So I got to see what combination of that gives me 27. Does a 5 and a 36 give me 27? No. 6 and a 30? No. Okay, and so I got to scroll through. I got a 10 and an 8 right here. I got 11 and there's my 12 and 15. Does 12 and 15 give me 27? It does, right? Because at least 12 plus 15 gives me 27. And so I can use that if I can't think of factors. So I got 12, 15, 12, and 15. And so in there, make both of them negative because I need it to be positive 180, which negative does. And that for my 27 gives me that. And so now when I bring this down, I'm going to bring down the original equation. And so it's going to be 10b squared minus 12b minus 15b plus 18 equals 0 that I'm factoring. These are my groups. Okay, and what I pull out, and this is why both my answers are were fractions. I'm going to pull out not the whole thing, so I'm pulling out what is a common factor between 10 and 12? 2, and it's 2b because I have a b and a b squared, so I'm left with 5b minus 6. Right? What do I pull out of 15 and 18? Negative 3, right? because I need it to be 5b minus 6. They're the same thing, correct? And so now I have my factors of 2b minus 3 and 5b minus 6. If I set both pieces equal to 0 to solve, I'm going to have 2b minus 3 equal to 0 and 5b minus 6 equal to 0. If I solve both of those, add 3, 2b equals 3, divide by 2, b is going to equal 3 over 2. Add 6, 5b equals 6, divide by 5, b is going to equal 6 over 5. Hold up, I release you anyway. Okay?